Hey, did you get the notes from lecture this morning?
Yeah, kind of. But I could barely read the professor's handwriting.
Anyways, all the guys in here look so bland and boring.
I know. Guys look so cool when they know how to do a volleyball swing.
Yeah, I know. Too bad there's no one around who knows how to do one.
Type shit.
How to serve and not be bad 101 video. The first phase is the toss and approach phase. This phase uses right arm motion to toss the ball up and take 4 steps forward, with the last 2 steps putting more pressure against the ground to create force to jump in the next phase. Here, the 2 motions start off simultaneously. The player is tossing the ball up by bringing his arm upward, activating circumduction in the glenohumeral joint. The player elevates the forearm with force by concentrically contracting the flexor digitorum superficialis muscle. The flexion of the forearm also causes a flicking motion in the wrist used to throw the ball up. At the same time, the player takes his starting step and pushes forward with the directional step, exerting force to move forward by extending the tibialis anterior muscle. All the 4 steps taken throughout this phase require precision use of patellar tendon and tibialis anterior muscle, as the player uses plantar flexion to move forward and gather steps to jump as he approaches the ball. Phase 2, jumping upward. As we transition into the second phase and run up for a volleyball jump, we can see the ball and socket hip joint also playing a crucial role. As the athlete gathers momentum and prepares to spring upward, the hip joint undergoes a combination of movements including flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction. These movements are facilitated by muscles such as the hip flexors, hip extensors, abductors, and adductors. Additionally, the stability provided by the ball and socket structure of the hip joint ensures efficient transfer of force from the lower body to the upper body, contributing to the overall power and coordination of the jump. To execute a volleyball jump, various muscles come into play. In phase 2 of the motion, the initial action involves taking a slight running start and transferring a significant portion of body weight onto the leg muscles. Muscles such as the rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, and vastus intermedius are concentrically contracted in this phase, which is responsible for actively generating force to extend the knee joint to exert a vertical jump. As the player is slowly starting to bend his knees, the patella, also known as the kneecap, plays an important role. During this knee extension, the patella increases its physical advantage of the quadricep muscles, helping the quadriceps exert more power, which pushes the vertical leap and knee extension. Phase 3, swinging. The motions in phase 3 are mainly upper body movements. Right before this phase was the jump phase. Once in the air, the objective is to hit the ball with force. To achieve that, the arm is in a swing motion. Right here, the trapezius muscles and the latissimus dorsi is retracting to stabilize the body. As seen here, the arm is protracting, activating the glenohumeral joint and engaging the subscapularis muscle combined with the teres major and pectoral muscle. The glenohumeral joint allows for a wide range of motion, facilitating the smooth execution of the follow-through action. Simultaneously, the abdominal muscles engage in a concentric contraction to stabilize the upper body and provide controlled strength. This stabilization is crucial, especially during mid-air movements, ensuring proper alignment and control as the body executes the follow-through motion. As the motion progresses towards making contact with the ball, attention is directed to the arm's lateral flexion. In this phase, the triceps, posterior deltoid, and the flexor digitorum superficialis muscles are primarily engaged in the upper arm. The triceps extend the elbow joint, aiding in the straightening of the arm during the follow-through phase. The brachioradialis muscle flexes the elbow joint, aiding in the bending of the arm during the follow-through phase. The forearm undergoes flexion with a concentric contraction involving the flexor carpi ulnaris, the flexor carpi radialis, extensor carpi radialis brevis, palmaris longus, extensor carpi radialis longus, and brachioradialis muscles. These muscles work together to execute a smooth and controlled follow-through motion, ensuring proper alignment, stability, and power generation. After hitting, the pectoralis major and anterior serratus muscles are activated to protract the arm and follow through all the way. Phase 4. After making contact with the ball, the glenohumeral joint undergoes circumduction due to the momentum generated by the arm's movement. This results in a downward motion of abduction as well as extension of the arm away from the body to preserve the built-up energy that was released into the ball. Upon landing on both feet, the ankles undergo plantar flexion, facilitated by the peroneal, gastrocnemius, soleus, and tibialis anterior muscles. These muscles contract concentrically to control the descent of the foot towards the ground and then eccentrically to absorb the impact, collectively working to cushion the initial landing. Upon ground contact by the toes, the patellar tendon predominantly absorbs the energy, while the quadratus lumborum, gluteal muscles, and quadriceps eccentrically contract to cushion the fall. Additionally, the quadriceps may undergo extension to further aid in decelerating the downward momentum. The talocrural joint acts as a shock absorber, providing cushioning and stability to absorb the impact of the landing. Muscles such as the gastrocnemius, soleus, and tibialis anterior work in conjunction to control the movement of the ankle joint and ensure a smooth transition from flight to ground contact. The ligaments surrounding the ankle joint provide crucial support to prevent excessive movement and potential injury upon impact. This coordinated action of the ankle joint contributes to the safe and controlled completion of the volleyball jump. Jumper's knee, medically known as patellar tendinopathy or patellar tendinitis, is a common overuse injury characterized by pain and inflammation in the patellar tendon, which connects the patella to the tibia. This condition typically develops gradually over time due to repetitive stress and strain on the patellar tendon, commonly seen in activities involving jumping like volleyball. The repetitive nature of these activities lead to microtrauma within the tendon, causing collagen degeneration and breakdown of the tendon structure. As the tendon becomes weakened and damaged, it loses its ability to withstand the forces placed upon it during jumping and landing movements. Factors such as improper biomechanics, inadequate warm-up, tightness or weakness in surrounding muscles, and sudden increases in training intensity or duration can further contribute to the development of jumper's knee. Over time, if left untreated, this condition can progress from mild discomfort to severe pain and functional impairment, potentially leading to long-term consequences and hindering athletic performance. Effective management strategies typically involve rest, ice, physical therapy to address muscular imbalances and biomechanical issues, and gradual return to the activity to allow for proper tendon healing and rehabilitation.
You know what? Volleyball's out. Court moves are in.